5 videos in one day, almost unheard of for me. Well, it's actually not all that hard to make. It's just like I had this like footage. I was actually supposed to use this for my like lore video about Scarlet Rot because Honored Madman dropped his lore video and he left out Castle. I don't think he left it out. I don't think I think he doesn't think it's as important as I do, or maybe like I'm wrong about it. Whatever. But you know, he left out Castle Shrade. You know, the place where you find Melania's prosthetic when you defeat. Well, you technically get it in a room. You don't have to defeat the boss, to my knowledge. You find it in like another walkway up into another building. Well, you get the boss weapon. No, I think you do. I don't know. You get a talisman. It's been so long since I played Elden Ring. Speaking of Elden Ring, yo, check out this Elden Ring gameplay footage. Well, I'm just like observing, like whatever the death root, scarlet rot, all that shit. But more to the point of why I made this video, man. So I've been noticing that, and I think I came up with this video a while back on the delay of Grand Theft Auto. I think when they initially pushed it all the way back till May. So I believe it was supposed to come out 2025 around this time, if I'm not mistaken. And they just pushed it back to next year, and then they pushed it back again. And at first, I was like wondering to myself, like, is there a specific reason for this? Because I know for a fact, like, their plate's not full, dude. Like, I don't know. Maybe Take Two is busy with their basketball games, or is like they're making racing games or something on the side. I'm just not seeing what is the problem with their holdup, right? Like, not exactly like I didn't pre-order the game. I don't have any, skin in the game, as they say, but I do like question, when is this game going to be released? Because as a guy who wants to release my own game, like the dumbest thing I can do is like, yo, I'm coming out with a game, in a week. And then next week, Grand Theft Auto comes. No one's gonna buy your game, dude. Everyone's gonna be like, I can't wait for Grand Theft Auto. I'm gonna hibernate, and they're just gonna get like fucking blackout drunk, wake up, they're all like fucking twisted and shit. Is it out yet? Is it out yet? Fucking gray hairs, everything. They're all fucking shriveled. They're waiting you out, man. Rockstar, the developers of Rockstar Games, Take Two Interactive, their publisher, they're all waiting you out. Okay. Now, what if? What if, right? And this is just me, like, talking speculatives. What happens if they were confronted by pretty much every single government that they were going to sell games in, right? Like, yo, you guys are giving us lots of tax revenue, but you're causing a lot of crime. There's a lot of people who, play your games and they do copycat crimes. Like they're reenacting, the heist. The first mission heist is very popular. Very, very popular, dude. The whole, like, you have a choice between you go in, I think it's like Trevor and Franklin, and then, what's his name? The other guy just like, does chills outside or is like the getaway driver or some shit like that. Well, I could be wrong about that. And they have a choice between throwing smoke gas like to just like knock out everybody, like the stealth way, and then just like steal all the jewelry that way, or go in guns a blazing and just like put a gun to people, hold them up, and just smash and grab everything in sight. Now, as far-fetched as that seems, because it's just like it's a video game, right? Like you wouldn't expect to see that play out in real life on repeat. Yeah, and yet you have, especially like, yo, dude, like, I don't know, maybe America has it a little bit different, but from what I'm seeing, like they have problems with like they call them flash mobs, and they'll just run and put in the mall and just like snatch up a bunch of shit and leave. And it's just like the first heist in Grand Theft Auto 5. Dog, they are waiting you out. They know that you're going to buy the game. They don't think you're going to buy the game. They know that you're going to buy the game. The government knows that you're going to buy the game. Okay? And I have a lot of what ifs. What if You can buy this game, I don't know, $100+, whatever, how much they're gonna charge for it, but you need to provide your driver's license. Now, what's on your driver's license? You have your postal code and you have your address, right? Now, what if the delay, right? And this is gonna scare some people, but you have to wake up to the reality, man. Wake up. You can't have, your hyper realistic 4K 60 frames a second, open world adventure where you shoot at cops in a realistic manner. Like, can you imagine the level of violence that has increased since the original Grand Theft Autos, where you were shooting cartoon depictions of people, and we all loved that. We all loved the idea of everyone's like not taking it seriously. It's like a very dark episode of The Simpsons. If you can, people on The Simpsons were swearing, like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, but it just seems like that like lovable, comical, like, or whatever, like, you don't take things seriously type of thing. And then Grand Theft Auto 4 came out, and everyone just like started looking on the floor more. They don't want to talk to each other. I only listen to rap, nothing else. Dressing a certain way, sticking to your own crowd, your own group. You can't trust these outsiders, these other people. Mind you, I'm only speaking from my experiences in North America, Canada, whatever. If I'm saying anything that, like, you obviously did not experience, so just trying to understand. I mean, dealing with the scope of like people who live here. You know what I mean? They don't really have much going on. A video game comes out. Oh my god, my life is so special now. So you go to the register, they ask for your driver's license. The clerk, takes your driver's license. Either they're typing it in or they're scanning it. Okay? Now, you think to yourself, what the fuck, right? Well, what is that going to do? Ooh, wait for it, wait for it. What if, right? If you didn't read that fine print, you got to read that fine print. Remember that. Read the fine print. If you were to depict, repeat, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Mirror a depiction of one of the missions in this game, that will revoke your license to having this game, to owning this game, and I don't know what the requirements are for you to like get it back. Most likely, you'll have to like enlist in some sort of like get help program, or like some sort of like community service or something like that. And that's how it is, man. You wanted to play the crime committing simulation, right? Basically, the cop shooting simulation. Thinking, oh my god, it's so much fun, unlike in real life, to just like, instead of waiting in like traffic for like hours, just like run through the sidewalk, run over a bunch of people, fly past this traffic cop, run him over in the process, maybe, and then like go to like, I don't know, like one of those spray shops, spray your car a different color so the cops don't know it's you, and then drive home like nothing ever happened. And you thought to yourself, oh, I'm safe. I'm safe in my own world of like fucking endless violence, and where I shoot prostitutes and like do all this fucked up shit. And it's just like, the only stipulation was that you play the game and you enter in all this information so they know who you are, this and that. Okay, you're above the age of 18, this and that. Okay, cool. And then you committed a crime. Now, what crimes do you think I'm talking about? Theft, right? It doesn't have to be over 5,000 too. It could be a theft, but like, they consider either strong arm robbery. It's not like, you just went in there and you swiped something and you left. No, they're talking about like, you're gonna like, run up in like a fucking, jewelry store and shit, and just like, grab everything you see in front of your face. Yeah, and guess what? Grand Theft Auto can't launch anymore. You committed a crime. See, the delays. You need the delay for that, to implement that kind of system. So like, falsely, like, well, I wouldn't say falsely, like, depending on whether or not the charges are real or not, to disable your ability to play this video game. Kind of like, if you drink and drive, like, gonna take your car license away, right? But it's just a video game. It's not real life. It's like, yeah, tell that to all those other fucking retards. Tell it to all those fucking idiots that were basically the pets of the government. What I mean by that is they got caught on some like messed up charge, like murder, theft, whatever, right? They're doing something that like was extremely bad, and then when questioned, why did you do this? What were you thinking? Oh, I play too many video games. I play a lot of video games. What was the Columbine shooters? Forget their stupid ass names. Anyways, those fucking idiots. Well, I played Doom. Oh my god, can you imagine? Are they? Well, they're dead though, right? They're in fucking hell, and they're looking up at all of us, and we get to play the better version of Doom. Like the version of Doom, they always thought that they were actually playing in their head when they're doing all these fucked up drugs, like snorting like fucking glue and shit. Look at each other's ass crack. Hey, girls don't like us, but we can like do that thing on South Park and shit. You like you smell like the cat pee. You guys just smell each other. Some shit like that. Mm. And yeah, then you had government official after government official. I think like if you were looking at countries in specificity, the ones that have the most oversight and like I guess you can say restrictions when it comes to like violent content would be Australia, China, by extension Singapore, and I guess Germany. I guess a lot of European countries are fucking cucked. Surprise, surprise. So, not really. I'm not surprised at all. Nobody's surprised. It's like, yo, this is illegal, but that guy raping that little girl over there, that's okay. Refugees, welcome here. Fuck it. Oh, dude, and you have to understand something. Like, yo, Rockstar Entertainment, as American as a company as it seems, was actually founded in the United Kingdom. You know what I mean? It's like you say to yourself, I'm as American apple pie, as football, baseball, whatever, right? And you say to yourself, well, Grand Theft Auto, it must be American, right? It has all these games set in America, except for that one on the PC. GTA London. Hickory smoked, my guy. Here we are in the future. The future. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. The government snapped. They said, no, we don't want this. You want to know why? So you ever stop and ask yourself something like, what happens if these young people get their hand? Well, they're obviously going to get their hands on this game. They're obviously going to get their hands on this game. But what happens when they get their hands on this game? They got a fucking, what is it? A G1, G2? Like they gotta wait a couple of years before they get their full on license. What do you think is gonna happen? Exactly. So why would they be as dumb? Not just the government, but Rockstar Entertainment themselves, because they're most likely gonna have to lawyer up. And the thing with court cases, even if you win, right? You still have to pay the lawyers, and you still have to go through the problem, the issue. It's just like such a pain in the ass. So it's just like, no, we implemented our parental features. If the user wants to violate, these agreements, then we have to terminate, the contract. Speaking of which, like, a lot of people are saying that physical media is dead, that you could no longer trust, the jewel cases, the Blu-rays, the CD-ROMs, the cartridges, the Switch version of that. What's that called again? So whatever, the rip-off. It's like a rip-off in a box. It's like it doesn't even have everything on it. Game card, there you go. The game card ripoff. It's just like, all right, here's your permission slip. Now go on the internet and download the rest of it. What a fucking failure. What a failure of a company, man. Why didn't you team up with Sony when you had the chance and actually make, like, oh my god, Super Nintendo? The PlayStation version of the Super Nintendo was going to be so good, dude. Imagine the RPGs. Imagine, like, the Super Nintendo graphics, but elevated with, like, even larger games. Because, like, a lot of people don't understand that, like, Super Nintendo had these, like, crazy large scale games that, like, they actually had to size down, but like take out whatever actual music and replace it with MIDI or whatever sound chips that they had on the Super Nintendo. I think they actually had a pretty good sound card on the Super Nintendo, to my memory, if my memory serves correctly. It was like pretty awesome. Like, you heard like, okay-ish sounding music. Sometimes really good, sometimes, Nintendo, right? Video gamey. And it's not like, Sega Genesis was any better, despite the fact that it came out earlier. It's more or less like an emulation of their arcade boards. So, even though it sounds grating by today's standards, that was the norm of the time. Those, the standard of the time. But, I'm getting off topic, right? Because, like, we have to really think about why these restrictions exist, and it's mostly to do with the lack of responsibility that people have, not just towards society that they live in, but towards themselves. It's like, how are you gonna let a video game, like influence you so much? You know what I mean? Like I was crazy for Grand Theft Auto. You know what I mean? Like then I played five, and then just started dying for me on the inside. And I understand like a lot of people, started with four or five, and like they don't understand what I'm getting at and why I'm not 100% pessimistic, but I'm more concerned about the people who are purchasing the game versus the company that's making it, because they, to my knowledge, like I don't necessarily like Grand Theft Auto 5, but it's anything but a bad game. You know what I mean? Like I find it vastly more enjoyable than a lot of other games out there. That being said, I don't want to show you any gameplay footage. I was thinking about re-downloading it just for talking about this, and like, I have a life, dude. Play this fucking game for what is it, like a decade plus? It came out in 2013. We're at 2026 now. 13 years? Oh, dude, 13 years. 14 if it comes out in 2027. 14 years. Oh, dude, 14 years. They're waiting the clock out on you guys. The kids that were committing crimes when they were first getting the game, I don't know, 2015, 2016, 17. Like by the time you got your hands on the game, they're like, oh, I see this in the news. That's like, mission one. That's like mission 10. That's like mission whatever, right? Okay, cool. By the time you get this game, you're gonna be a fucking silver man. You're gonna be silver, gray, salt and pepper, like Hassan over there. But unlike Hassan, who has like rich parents and like people like constantly make apologies for all the stupid shit that he says and does. You're gonna rot in jail, man. They're gonna know who you are. They're gonna know when you bought the game. They're gonna know a bit more about you than you probably would like. Because when you play this game, did you read the fine print? Read the fine print. Read the fine print. This is one of those games. I'm telling you, man. In fact, I'll go as far as to say, um, I would probably consult a lawyer about paying before I played this game. Subscribe to Legal Mindset and ask them about the legality of playing this game. Can they remove your ability to play this game if you commit crimes or violate your contract or whatever? And like I get to laugh about this because what we lost for what we wanted to get, we wanted to have better graphics. We wanted to have a more open world. We wanted to have better weapons and this and that, and you got it, but what did you lose? Like, I think the loss of that light-hearted, comical nature of the PlayStation 2 era Grand Theft Autos versus Grand Theft Auto 4. As good as and Grand Theft Auto 4 is an amazing game, by the way. Like, I have no real criticisms of it, except for the fact that it is very different from Grand Theft Auto. Not bad, it's just different. You know what I mean? But what you lost by trying to mass appeal to basically the modern audience, if you will, is the sincerity of it. Like, we are living in a very apathetic society who, pleasures themselves off of the death of people. Like, I could talk about politics. Why not? I have like, 13, 14 years to talk about it. Why not? Let's talk about some politics, yeah. You know what I mean? And it's gotten people so violent, so trigger happy, if you will, that a game like this is a detriment to society, not to the individual, mind you. If you're, you have your mental faculties. Like, I have no right to tell you what you should or shouldn't do, or what you should or shouldn't purchase. Like, this is basic shit. But we can all agree that in a society that has very little oversight and personal responsibility, and well, let's be honest, this game is going to be a fantasy for people. They've been dreaming about this. They say over and over again, "Oh, this is gonna happen before Grand Theft Auto releases. This is gonna this has happened. That's happened. This guy's died. We lost this. We got this before Grand Theft Auto 6." Yeah, it's a going joke. And you know what the biggest joke about that is? Um, did you know that some of the people that are going to buy the game that you want so badly should not have that game? You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. And you can cry about I wouldn't recommend that, but you can cry about this game not being released, the delays, this and that. But it's only the beginning, man. Get your credit card and driver's license, all your information ready, man. It's the future of video games. Yo, the guy himself. I don't know. Is it? I don't think it's Dan Houser. I think that's the guy who did Mind's Eye. Somebody else. That game was a failure too. But like, he said it like this game is worth way more than just like $100, and he doesn't want to sell it for anything less. So you're gonna pay one way or the other.